Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. We're about to get started with this panel, Monetize Your Short, Distributing and Making Returns. I hope everyone had a great lunch and has been having a great day in this heat. We've all been going through it. I had my own little hike early in the morning, really beautiful when the sun was coming up. And now we're here right underneath Griffith Observatory. Thank you all for joining. My name is Eduardo Mendoza. I'm a volunteer here for the day. I've been having a real good time, and I hope everyone else is having a good time. I want to introduce everyone to Ian Bonfante. Please, everyone, give it up for Ian. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, again, this panel is called Monetize Your Short, Distributing and Making Returns. Now, for this will really be an open dialogue. So if during the course of this you hear something, you're like, I want to know more about that, like, raise your hand and we'll go for it.
Please. We lost a guest today, so I want this to be interactive as much as possible. You don't want to hear me talking for a full hour straight, I promise you. So weigh in. Please feel free to interject if you have a question or a follow-up question or response to anything that I say. I'm happy to delve into greater details.
Yeah. Ian, do you want to say a little bit about yourself and
Yeah,
EO Flix?
so first of all, a lot of beautiful faces. Thank you for having me today. I hope everyone's doing well and certainly cooler than I am. I am the VP of Product at Entertainment Oxygen. Some of you may know us, some of you may not. Our primary platform is EO Flix, and I'll talk a little bit more about that and how potential users can use it, like yourself. We'll talk about that in just a minute. We also have a companion platform that's going to be launching here in a couple of months, and that's EO Fest. So we cater primarily to filmmakers, film festivals, as well as the global viewing community, especially, and it's all bespoke, so it all focuses on independent filmmakers, shorts and features. I know we're here to talk specifically on shorts, and our platform, I think, is one of those that you can really weaponize and use to your benefit. And again, we'll get into that here in a moment.
Yeah, I don't think anyone...
We can share if you need to.
If you move away from the speaker. Yeah. If you move this way.
Yeah, let's shift over. Well, I think maybe other people in this room have been doing shorts for a while and are always looking to, we're always asking ourselves, like, okay, when am I going to do my first feature? When is that coming up? And how do I even face that? So I think myself and many other people in this room would love to also talk about features as well, not just shorts. I think just to get things rolling, what problem does EO Flix solve for short filmmakers trying to make real money?
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, we provide a bespoke platform that's catered specifically to the independent film community, and we target 3 core user groups: filmmakers, like many of you in the audience, independent film fans from across the world, as well as film festivals. And the overarching goal is to create this virtuous cycle and ecosystem where everyone gets to benefit from each other. Specifically for filmmakers, we provide a video on-demand service. It's very much like those that you see, some of the larger players in the group, whether it's Tubi, Freebie, Amazon, and some other competitors of ours that I'm not going to name, so I'm going to steal the show since it's me here alone today. But yes, we provide you with that professional-looking platform and the pedigree that goes along with that to showcase your work. And what that allows you to do is obviously share your work with our global community that we're in the process of building, to build your brand, to build, obviously, the film recognition. It also allows you to network with other film professionals, so there's a social network within that application. So if you're looking to start a project, connect with others, even start social clubs, you're allowed to go on there and network, and ultimately, like you said, if you want to jumpstart your next project, you can do that as well. There is a tie-in with film festivals, but really, in terms of streaming and showcasing your work, that's the primary purpose of EO Flix, in addition to that connection, and then serving as a virtual platform for filmmakers and film festivals to connect and stream their virtual components of their festivals.
When you come across a short or someone comes to you with their short, what are 3 green flags that a short can have that are good for?
We're pretty accommodating. When I say that, we built this platform specifically for short content creators, regardless what you're doing. We don't have any strict parameters. Now, obviously, we do monitor and make sure that the content isn't violating any of our internal policies, but we are very accepting, and that's one of the beautiful things about our platform. We give you that professional look and that pedigree, and we allow you to upload, take advantage of the global community and our viewership, but green flag specifically, we're not in the habit of blocking or kicking out or declining, especially short form content creators. So we are very amenable. You can go out there, you upload it. We have one review process. We have a team that goes in and makes sure it's not, again, violating any policies. And then it's out there in the world. It's out there in the world for you to take care of and specifically share. You can do private screenings. You can do public screenings. So, and this bleeds into a little bit of the questions that we have coming up later, but if you do want to open up, there's a revenue sharing model there, and there's a private screening as well. So maybe you just want to take advantage of the professionalism and the look and all the features and functionality on our platform. You can do a private screening and share that link with, it can be very select on who gets to access your film. Otherwise, I encourage all of you, especially short form creators, just to tap into that community. It's more eyeballs, it's relatively inexpensive, and anyway, you got to really adopt a multi-pronged approach when you're talking about monetizing your short film. I see us, EO Flix specifically, really as one of the key segments when you talk about video on demand and some of those bespoke platforms, our competitors that actually are built specifically by you and for you to showcase your short form content. And our global community knows to come to us to view that. So it's not like it's going to be buried in the content. You have very specific people that are coming there looking for specific content, i.e., well, one of them is feature films, but also a lot of shorts. So, yeah. Sorry about that. Thank you.
What are any deterrents, any red flags? Like what will it be? Will it be visual quality, audio quality, things that look, unfortunately, like not great on streaming?
As I said, we're pretty amenable. Is that? Yeah. We don't have specific parameters other than, we have a couple of big ones, right? Internal policies that we look, and then we do moderate content to make sure it meets those, but you would have to go really far afield to violate those, to be honest. And that's what we're all about. Again, we're trying to make this as universal of a platform as possible. We don't want to deter people away, especially if you have short form content, whether that's a short feature or any type of microfilm. So no major red flags other than some obvious ones, which I won't touch on. But I think the gates are pretty open. And again, we're all about accommodating.
So how exactly does a filmmaker receive money? How does revenue work on EO Flix?
So right now we're primarily SVOD, which stands for Subscription Video on Demand. We do have a tiering system. So some people that can go on there and get a basic plan and view the videos for free. That's more global audience. We're orienting ourselves more to the independent film fan base. For short form creators, the actual revenue share model is 70-30. And with that, you get all of the access not only to the streaming, but all the professional networking tools, which we can talk a little bit here more about. So again, going back to this ecosystem thing here, it's not just about showcasing your work. It's also about really empowering the community to come together and start new projects, build social clubs, so on and so forth. So you get all of that for a subscription. It's really content creator subscription. And then the SVOD specifically is 70-30, and we're going to move more and more, at least when you look out in the future towards the roadmap, we're going to strike a better balance between subscription-based revenue and ad-based revenue. Of course, we have to build critical mass and ultimately build a community and get enough content coming in as well as traffic coming in to justify and attract the eyes of the advertisers. And that's where we're moving towards, and hopefully in the near future, sooner rather than later, will be less and less subscription-based, although that's not going to go away, but more and more advertising-based. And why that's important in striking that balance is with the ad revenue comes more rev share for our content creators. So right now it's 70-30, and it's based on predominantly subscription-based revenue from the SVOD model that we have, but we are pushing for that ad-based revenue, and we actually have some things in the works. But yeah, we're a long way from where we want to be at this stage. But again, perfection is a journey, so we're moving towards it.
Where do you want to be? If you had like 3 words, 3 adjectives, where do you want to be?
We want to be the destination place. So we want to build, we want to be known across those three core user segments: filmmakers, fans of independent films, and film festivals, as the place to go to tap into the preeminent global community for independent filmmaking, period, full stop. All of those have different value propositions for each of those core user segments, but again, they all feed each other. And if we can achieve that, it takes off. It becomes this flywheel effect where everything is feeding each other and we're all able to get brand recognition, revenue, tap into the festival circuit if that's what you're after. But it's really building that ecosystem. We have to take it one step at a time. Because we are catering to such a broad audience. It's not like some of our competitors are catering specifically to filmmakers. Others are catering specifically to streamers or the viewing audience. We're trying to encompass it all. And if we can do that, it's going to mean success for everyone that's involved in it.
You mentioned festivals just now, which I think we all look for. I spend so much time on Film Freeway. Maybe not on the daily, but some weeks it really is. You're just deep in the weeds, scrolling,
yeah,
trying to find the perfect match. Is that a green flag to you when you guys are looking at shorts, festival recognition?
Yes. So, two things. We want to serve as a conduit in between, let's just call it short form filmmakers, short content creators, and film festivals. And that's what we're doing. So we want to serve as that matchmaker entity, that middleman, and we want to use intelligence and technology to be able to give you proactive notifications on festivals that are on our platform, that are actually in the process of programming. We'll have a virtual component, and therefore you should submit if we think it's a good fit. You can submit as much as you want. Talking about the business side of things, I suggest that everyone takes a very tactical approach. You don't want to just do the shotgun approach, but we can help bridge that gap as the matchmaker from a festival standpoint. Once you're done with the festival, you then can leverage EO Flix, the platform, the streaming side, to post your work and continue to build that brand, continue to build your audience and tap into that global audience and get a little bit of revenue. Now, it's not a get-rich scheme. I don't want to confuse anyone. But there's an opportunity, and I always encourage a multi-pronged approach to getting your short viewed. There's an opportunity there, and it should certainly be on your radar in terms of what you do after the festival circuit, going out there, posting on either EO Flix to make sure that you continue to stream and monetize, or one of our competitors if you don't like us. But yeah.
I was just curious, what do you think is going to be the best, sorry, I'm grasping for the words. So how long would the deal be for distribution? Are they exclusive, non-exclusive, long or short?
On our platform specifically, it's well, I'm glad you brought. I just talked about this the other day. It's not exclusive, so it's not exclusive, which is good. The monetization component, so the rev share, is based on 2 years, although that might be changing quickly. So take it with a grain of salt. That was a topic of conversation yesterday, but no, it is not exclusive, which is why I say the multi-pronged approach is imperative. You guys have to think about not only the festival circuit, you'll need to think about the streamers like EO Flix, and you also need to consider your DIY effect. I mean, you got to get out there and do some guerrilla campaigning yourself, taking advantage of social media, so on and so forth. And if you prioritize in each of those buckets and have a select list of festivals that you want to go to, a select list of streamers like EO Flix that you want to post and host on, and then do a little bit of self-empowerment through social media, for example, you take that approach and you have a lot of patience and pertinacity, you will get there. And EO Flix is trying to bridge the whole gap there. So we're trying to encompass it all so you don't have to work across all of those. Again, it's a work in progress, but that's really what our raison d'etre is, so to speak.
There's a hand.
Yeah.
So I have a friend that had gotten distribution for their short on Delta Airlines.
Mm.
And I'm wondering if there's, I'm sure that's rare, but I'm wondering if there's areas outside of SVOD that you've also found be successful that kind of can contribute to that multi-pronged approach.
Yes, the short answer is yes, and your hunch is true. It is rare, but possible. I wish Linda was here. She wasn't able to make it today, but she works with some of the, let's just call them bigger players in the streaming industry, the Tubies, the Movies, the Freebies, the Apples. And she, as an aggregator, I don't know if many of you are familiar with the terminology, but basically she compiles and builds these bundles of shorts and then serves as a middleman between because a lot of these bigger players, they want to have a larger, let's just say, a body of work to work with rather than just short or working with one individual. So they go through these middlemen who package them up almost like a mutual fund, and then they'll work with that. I view the aggregators as, if you think about it in 3 columns, I view first of all, you have the DIY column, do it yourself, empower yourself. There should always be that component. You have our component, the streamers. I view the aggregators as part of that. So when you're submitting, whether it's to the festival or submitting online to stream, you should also explore the opportunity to work with those aggregators if your aspiration is, I want to be seen on Delta Airlines or Tubi or something like that. A lot more difficult, a lot more challenging. That's why I certainly try to steer people towards these bespoke platforms that we have, that we built specifically for this community to go out and showcase their work. But I understand that obviously you want to tap into the huge global community that's used to seeing, those are household names. So I understand that, but don't put your eggs in one basket. Again, multi-pronged approach, plenty of options, prioritize, and then execute. And patience and persistence. Yes.
Oh, thanks. In addition to the DIY, posting in socials, I'm on EO Flix now. What type of search capabilities are on the platform for other people to find our work?
You're talking about just natively on the platform.
Yeah.
It's without going into the weeds. It's pretty basic. When I say basic, it's standard for what you would have on, say, the aforementioned Tubi's, movies, stuff like that. So you can do a search by title. You can do a search by genre. We are working on obviously building out our features and functionality. As I mentioned earlier, it's a big motto is that perfection, or journey's a perfection, or perfection's a journey, excuse me. So we are building that out. But right now, I would to paint it in a broad stroke, pretty general. Again, we do have sort features and features that you can search by name or even actor, as well as genre. But nothing else that I would call as a necessarily differentiator. But it's going to continue to evolve quickly.
Are you looking to, what kind of curation would you like to imagine for EO Flix in the future?
We want to continue to cater towards our core audience, and we are all about the independent film community, and that's who we will never, when I say never, never say never, but we will continue to grow and evolve, and we will continue to strike a balance between feature-length films and short-form content. That's not going away. We're not going to all of a sudden one day pull the rug out from, say, short-form content, say we're all features or anything like that. We are an all-in-one ecosystem. I cannot emphasize this enough. I know it sounds like a bit of a broken record, but I promise you, we are trying to build a community here, and in doing so, we are not being exclusive. So when you talk about curating in the future and what that looks like, I think the path that we're on will continue to evolve slightly, but more or less the stuff that you find out there now will continue. We're going to continue to build our content library and make it more and more appealing to viewers, eyeballs, because the more eyeballs we have, the more usage and the more ultimately that we'll be able to monetize and share the love financially with filmmakers.
Can I ask you about any very successful shorts that have found their way to EO Flix and continue to not only find an audience but grow an audience on EO Flix, and how those filmmakers approached you, if there was anything specific about the project or the work they did with you in order to make that a success, or if it was a lot of other campaigning, a lot of social campaigning on their end? Yeah.
So I'll paint in broad strokes as opposed to a single one, and you're going to have to give me a get out of jail for free card today. I am 2 months old, so I'm still very much learning. In terms of client success stories, I think is kind of basically what you're talking about here. Give us a success story. We have them. To go into details, I don't have those specifically, but yes, they have predominantly the core flow is you go into the festival. We make a match, right? So we help you get paired or at least aligned with the festivals we think you should submit to. And in doing so, once you're out of assuming you got selected, you have two really paths from that point. If you don't get selected, okay, no biggie. You fall back on the platform, right? You still have to tap into our global community and you stream on there. And you continue to submit through other platforms if you want to. If you do get selected, and this is really where the kind of the happy path is in terms of core success, and that is you get selected, you get your distribution deal from the actual, on the festival circuit. But even if that distribution deal doesn't work or any type of licensing, you still come back to the platform. You get to promote yourself as a festival winner or for festival participant. So we have all the branding and logoing like that. And we have a spotlight feature that allows you to draw the spotlight on your film or even your bio if you are looking just to do kind of market yourself, and your talent and what you do. So specifically, a specific success story, I'm going to pass. Again, I'm going to use that card. But that's kind of the happy path flow for a film that enters the EO Flix system, is you get matched with that festival, you go on the festival circuit, and then after that, you continue to generate views, get eyeballs on your movie by hosting on our platform.
I know sometimes like festivals will ask for like first right to screen something,
Mhm.
or exclusive access.
Mhm.
Like, where do you guys fit in the windowing there, or is there any like distribution issues as far as like it's screening or being hosted?
We've never experienced a conflict of interest where it can't be worked out. We respect, obviously, the filmmakers' rights. So if they feel, and it's really up to them to prioritize, right? So if they feel that the being in the festival is the highest priority and the festival is clamping down and saying, look, we want distribution rights or we want rights for a year and no one else can use it. At that point, that's a decision for the filmmaker, and we respect that. We'll work for that. We'll work through it at the time. We've never devolved into any type of major argument with film festivals. We have a close partnership with them. I'm not aware of, any situations where it couldn't be worked out or really where there's a conflict of interest. Again, that happy path I described, it's mostly you go to the film festival. After you're done with the festival circuit, you then come and make sure that you're on our platform, continuing to be available to our global community for video on demand services. And that's where that revenue share comes in as well.
Or even for anything from like Netflix or a streaming deal or like any studio that pick up kind of situation afterwards.
We haven't dealt directly. I'm sorry if I'm misunderstanding your question. You might have to rephrase it. We haven't dealt directly with them. Yeah, if that's what you're asking. Yeah. Do we have a direct tie-in and a direct relationship with some of those bigger streamers? Is that kind of where you're going?
They're not mutually exclusive. Like it's not like picking you or picking them.
No. Going back, I think someone else had the comment. No, we're not locking down and saying we have to have exclusive rights over this content for the year. Yeah. Sorry if I didn't make that clear earlier. Yeah. I hope you're that successful and that comes up, but we haven't run into that. Yeah.
Do you have anything that a filmmaker could use for promotional, like a discount or a free window, or it's like,
Yes.
see it this week?
Yeah, so it's a good question. Because we're in a growth stage, we have been pretty flexible in giving away, I'll just be honest, just trying to get people on the platform. We're trying to build that global community across those user groups, and yes, the answer is yes. If you cannot meet, for what I know everyone's on a budget, or most of you have a budget, and if you're blessed enough not to have one, then good for you. But if you cannot meet it's just the financial requirements, we'll call it like that, we can certainly work with you. In terms of promotion, I think was another part of your question. We have tools built into the app for you to build a profile. It's a whole social networking component or module within the app that allows you to connect with, really, you name it, film professionals from across the industry, across the world, across all roles. And you have an opportunity to build out a personal profile as well, connect with them, chat with them, build community, so on and so forth. Very much like you would on a lot of the social networking applications. So you can leverage that, is what I'm saying. Obviously, I would encourage everyone here, if you have not already, going back to my multi-pronged approach, if you have a social media presence, to cross-pollinate, cross-promote. So if you have a place for links in, say, your Instagram, a lot of people put links there. Certainly one of those links should be your video link on EO Flix. Or if you have a marketing page on the internet, for instance, you can do a quick build for relatively cheap these days and just have like a marketing presence online. If you don't want to go the social media route, I recommend them both. But again, you should have a section for links, and you should continue to cross-pollinate across those so that whether it's embedded image or embedded videos on your website or a link to view it on something a little bit of a slicker platform, i.e. EO Flix, do that. So yeah, you got to get creative with it. We do have some tools, but in terms of marketing and branding for specifically filmmakers, they are going to be limited, but that's where it goes back to that kind of cross-promoting and cross-pollinating across your multi-pronged approach.
Would you be able to
Yes.
You know, like kind of like promotional.
So we have a spotlight feature, both on the personal side, that is what we're calling the talent side. So for actors, directors, writers, so on and so forth, who have built social profiles on our site, there's a spotlight feature that's pay to be featured. The same is true for the filmmakers, and it's actually undergoing a little bit of rebranding. So if you go out there and you don't see it, it's just because we're in the process of rebranding it and it's being built. But it is basically a menu of films that are going to be under the spotlight, and that will be time-based. So it'll be limited for a couple of weeks. You can pay to hop into it, but as a new subscriber, it doesn't mean you can't say, hey, you know, you can grease the palms a little bit. I promise you, we'll be pretty receptive. Yeah.
Can you talk about how, with building a social network and all these films linked to it, you're protecting people's data and privacy? And I know you talked about private streaming and things like that, but what are the other safeguards you're putting in place to prevent film piracy or anything like that?
Yeah, so we have all of the watermarking, DRM rights, all that stuff in place that are what I would consider table stakes. You know, if you're going to be in this business, you need to have that. So we certainly have that in place to protect actually the films themselves, the content themselves. If I understand your question, in terms of private information, yeah, the personal information, yeah, the same kind of safeguards. I mean, obviously everything's going to be gated, so you have to create an account. Is it perfect? Like everything in technology, and I always say this, is look, nothing's perfect, nothing's impervious, nothing is impenetrable. I will tell you, we have not experienced an incident. Our security, we do penetration testing, so we do third-party penetration testing to make sure. Now, granted, it's focused or oriented more towards protecting IP, namely films. It does focus a little bit just on data in general, holistic ecosystem data, and that's where that would fall in from a personal standpoint. I will also say that a lot of the bio stuff, the information you're talking about, your personal bio in the talent section, social networking, is limited. So we're not asking, and obviously we're not in the business of advertising your social security number or your address. None of that's even asked for. So by virtue of the fact that we have been very selective in the type of information that we are exposing to the public, or at least the user base, you're protected by virtue of that. But we also do penetration testing and have a lot of internet, which unless you want to go there, I'm happy to talk more about it. But yeah, a lot of security parameters and controls there.
With that in mind, thinking about your AI, I think is
Mhm.
the big
Yeah.
elephant in the room. It's like, is there anything on the surface that's deliberately saying, no, you're never going to sell this stuff to AI? Like, is that going to be something filmmakers can opt in or opt out of?
That's going to have to be opt in, opt out. So to say that we'll never be in that business would be a lie. I mean, I don't know things change so quickly, especially with the advent of AI. I think most of you are probably well aware of how it's kind of shaped or at least influencing the film industry at large, at all levels, really. Yes, that will have to be something that we, if we ever went there, would have to be something that we disclose specifically in our terms and conditions. So, yeah. We would be transparent.
This is a very dry question, but I think it's like exactly it's like worded the way it needs to be worded. What % of festival viewers convert to on-platform followers or paid views later? And are there tactics to lift that conversion? So if a film has a very successful festival run, it seems to have gathered its audience, and now it's on EO Flix, how does that work out based on EO Flix's history so far, and are there ways you guys try to bump that number up?
So are you, sorry, I misunderstood. I want to make sure I understand your question correctly. Yeah. So the conversion rate that you spoke to first is people on the platform converting to being selected by film festivals? Was that the question?
Festival success, and then they come to you
Okay.
and try to
I'm
find
with you.
success on
Okay.
Netflix.
Yes, good question. All right, so this is a challenge for us. This is a business challenge for us. We want it to be, so to answer your question, we don't have specific statistics, but I will tell you it's not enough, and that's an education problem. It's not because people aren't desirous, it's just because they don't know. And we are in the process of actually building out our marketing department without going into too much detail, and that's going to be a huge user-base facing entity that we're going to have to do a lot of education. So a lot of people don't realize after the film festival is over and they're done with the circuit that all they have to do is click a yes button in their profile, and it'll automatically populate on our streaming service and be available to the viewing public. We want that to be 100%, obviously. However, we need to do a better job of educating people who submit to film festivals that that feature and functionality exists and that they should be taking advantage of it. Why? Well, one, grow your audience, grow your brand. Two, there's a rev share component in for you. And it's just one more outlet across that multi-pronged approach that you get eyeballs on your film. So the short answer is not enough. That's our fault because we need to do better of educating our actual users. And we hope to grow, that's 100%. We want people to experience success in the festival circuit, and we want them to come and experience success and hits on our platform.
Are there certain types of things filmmakers should come to you with besides their short? Artwork, certain types of metadata, captions that help grease those wheels, help get things going?
Nothing, no. I think we're good. So we do a lot of that automatically on the back end. So we have obviously technology in the back end that will do some of that metadata to support, filtering and stuff like that. So as long as it doesn't mean don't come and offer that. If we can use it, we'll use it. But a lot of that stuff we take care of in-house just through the program, and we upload so that people can quickly and easily search and find or get positive hits and positive results if they're searching for a film or if they're filtering that the results that are rendered are accurate. So again, a lot of it's on the back end in terms of metadata and stuff like that. You don't need to worry about that. If you have suggestions, hey, bring them.
Might be a question you have an answer to, might not. But how does making revenue on EO Flix affect like your deal with SAG, for example? If you did a short film contract and had the actors defer their payment, provided the film doesn't make any money, have you had any experience with how that?
We haven't.
Okay.
We haven't. So it's difficult to answer when we haven't experienced that yet. So
Okay.
yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah. Hopefully that's assuages any concern you have.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it doesn't come up, but we haven't experienced that, thus.
Well, you're not a typical streaming platform per se, right? It's not like
Well, in a way it is. I mean, the look and feel is very much so. If am I understanding you correctly? I should have put.
show on your platform and still show the program or show their film on YouTube and other platforms.
Yeah. And that's that multi-pronged approach that I encourage you at. Yeah. I mean, again, exclusivity. We want to empower you. I mean, that's why we're here. We're building this ecosystem for you guys to harness and tap into. But we also realize we're just one of, again, that column I keep pointing to that you can tap into. There's also the festival circuit, and yes, we can help you there. But there's also the DIY. I mean, you should definitely cross-pollinate, cross-promote there.
Is it a instant revenue that comes to you? Like if I have my short film on your project and 10 people watch it, do I get some kind of pennies or like?
Yeah, it's not, as I mentioned, it's not get rich. It's not a get rich scheme. It's just some nice revenue that comes in.
Something instant.
Yeah, you're really there for the eyeballs.
Yeah.
The brand yeah, exactly. And it's great. It's a phenomenal tool. It's a phenomenal empowering tool where you can share with, like I said, cross-pollinating and cross-promoting across platforms. You can share with these people and they can go and they get that professional user experience going into a Hulu. They get that look and feel, and it works out. And that way you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about how it renders and all the video quality and whether or not you have cloud storage to handle the capacity or the load on the viewership and stuff like that. All that stuff is taken care of.
Do you have to sign any distribution agreement?
No, going back to what I said, it's not exclusive. Yes, you do. When I say distribution, it's for the revenue share component. So the terms are limited.
YouTube, you don't really sign a distribution agreement, do you? You just have a YouTube.
Well, I don't know. It depends on what level we're talking about of content. The level of content, independent filmmakers specifically, especially short form content, as long as it's not part of a series that's been licensed out specifically to YouTube, they will absolutely make sure that they're exclusive distributor of that. But we don't do that. Are we going to get into that business in the future? Don't know. Who knows what the future holds? But what I can tell you, it doesn't mean. I think what the crux of it is just because you're showing on our platform doesn't mean you can't or even shouldn't go show on, say, YouTube if that's where you want to go as well. So it's not mutually exclusive. And again, if I'm just putting on my business hat as a short form content creator, I'm doing everything I can in terms of hitting all the different key platforms, prioritize tactfully, have a plan, but I'm taking advantage of all those tools. Yeah.
There's another hand over here earlier.
I was just wondering, like, in that sort of putting the company together and building the platform, like, what did the research like show about the sort of appetite for like short form narrative content? Like, I mean, obviously, like, computer generated stuff on TikTok is huge, but
Yeah.
like really, is there an appetite, a huge appetite for narrative shorts?
So it's a good question. And given the ever-evolving landscape, when I say you are, traditional short-form filmmaking, independent films are in direct competition with eyeballs, and that means all the social media sites and social influencers. You're vying for people's attention. The appetite is, we obviously, based on our research, we would not be in the business if we did not think there was a huge value opportunity there, value to bring to the market. And filmmakers, whether, again, feature length, and we are in the business of obviously showing feature length films as well, so it's not exclusively short, but it is there. And I think if we create this ecosystem that we keep referring to, that the appetite's only going to grow. In terms of quantifying and give you like market statistics, things are changing so fast, especially with the advent of, you mentioned TikTok, you talk about Instagram Reels, stuff like that. It's changing a lot, but there is an appetite. That's why we're in the business. That's why we believe there's a huge market opportunity here, and frankly, an underserved market regarding independent filmmaking at large. Shorts in particular, I think, are underutilized. A lot of people see them as stepping stones or just small vignettes to market themselves. The reality is, especially with the advent of social media, short form content is not just a stepping stone. It is very much an opportunity to monetize. You see, every day you hear about a story about someone that's just out there posting, 15, 30-second clips on Instagram, and they're making tons of money because of all that advertising revenue. Where the eyeballs go, the ad revenue goes. So we are definitely of the opinion that there's a huge opportunity here for the independent filmmaking community, not only feature length, but also shorts, but more traditional shorts, not the stuff you see on social media. And if anything, social media has proven that you can monetize it and do so effectively. Now it's building that ecosystem, building the platform on which we can achieve that as a community. And that's driving content creators to our platform, making sure they get it there, having a big content library, and doing the marketing that we need to drive traffic. That is the global audience there, so that they know we exist, they can find good content. And again, with the revenue share, everyone's making a little bit of money, but more and more eyeballs means more and more advertising dollars as we shift away from the subscription VOD, or strike a better balance and get the advertising VOD as well. So that's kind of forward thinking, but I don't know if I answered your question.
You mentioned that you also work with filmmakers in the festival process as well, saying that you help them identify
Thank you.
festivals that they should submit to.
Yes.
I was wondering if you could just talk more about that.
I'm thrilled to, because we're in the process of building a companion website right now. I'm sure many of you have heard of Film Freeway and Eventive. They're kind of what I would call as the de facto industry leaders at that point, or at this point. And what we're trying to do is, with this new website, which is in development, and we hope to bring it to a viewing audience soon, very soon we're going to launch it. And it's going to be a companion site to EO Flix, which is our current presence. And what it's going to do is, from submissions to streaming, the whole value stream there for film festivals and filmmakers. The goal is to help filmmakers, basically serve as a matchmaking service for filmmakers and film festivals, helping them determine which ones they submit to. I mean, ultimately, it's up to the filmmaker. We're not going to restrict anything. We're going to let them know what film festivals are open for submissions, and we will facilitate that submissions process. And then really the filmmaker drops at that point. They just wait, determine whether or not they've been selected. But the film festival does all of that through our platform. They then move on to the next phase, which is all about programming, scheduling, curating the actual festival itself. And then they will stream on EO Flix, the companion site. So it's an all-in-one for the film festivals, an all-in-one value streams. Submissions to streaming, you come in there, you get connected with filmmakers, we assist the filmmakers, matchmake service, and then they do the curate. Once they go through the submission selection process, they curate, schedule, program, and then they stream on EO Flix. So we're trying to be that all-in-one, and we hope to be wrapping that up here pretty short.
How are the submission fees handled?
Same as everything else. Yeah. So we facilitate it online. The submission fees, so for the filmmaker itself, it's going to be the same. Now it's up to the film festival to dictate the prices. We work with the film festival to get a cut of the actual submission fee. It's up to them whether or not they feel the need to pass that on to the filmmaker, just on the business side of the house. But everything stays pretty much how you would expect it to flow. Yeah. So all the payments and all that's facilitated on our platform, though, if that's what you're answering. Yeah.
What kind of relationships do you have with film festivals specifically, like as opposed to Film Freeway, where you're just clicking to submit?
Yeah.
Is there an advantage going through that way, or is it just like, oh, you have a comedy, this festival has a comedy spotlight?
Yeah. Both. So we have an ambassador right now, Jacques, who some of you may know, and he's actually working hand in hand, doing a little more white glove relationship building with the film festivals. He's a longtime producer, writer, director himself. He has a lot of connections. So we have our go-to-market team that he's really spearheading right now, and he's working directly with those film festivals to establish that relationship. And we're working on partnerships with third parties, actually, to get sponsorship opportunities for filmmakers who don't want to, well, they need a little bit of help on the financial side of the house. That's fine. You know what? We have this sponsorship opportunity, and this is part of the value add. They're going to pay for your submission fee. And that alleviates some of this financial stress and burden from the submissions process. At the same time, it's, again, working those relationships and building that whole ecosystem I keep talking about. But we do have personal relationships with film festivals. We're continuously working on those and evolving those literally as we speak. And then at the same time, it's very much self-serve. And that's the whole thing about the platform. We want people to be empowered. The platform, we don't want the platform just to be a marketing thing. We want people to be empowered. So you go out to the platform, you see which festivals are on our site, you receive notifications, and you can go out there and submit according, at your leisure. So it's very much a tool for an empowerment. At the same time, we want to provide that white glove treatment. If you need help and assistance, we're there for you.
I don't think you've answered this yet, but regarding the data of viewership, do you all share that with filmmakers so they can kind of see
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's a big opportunity for improvement, I'll admit, right now. The analytics is generally what we refer to it in-house. We're working on an enhanced analytics dashboard. But yes, 100%. Yeah.
Can film festivals, can they have their own page? And it's
Absolutely.
Like these are the films that are showing, and then is it possible to then watch it on that? Or
So,
would that be after the festival airs? Or?
Yes, and yes. So the film festival gets a marketing page. If you don't, so especially for those that are cash strapped, just new, don't have a lot of, say they don't have deep pockets. You have that presence on our site. So that's free marketing right there. Well, I shouldn't say free marketing, but you get to tap into that global community, the same as the filmmakers. The film festivals do. You have that presence on that site, on our site, your festival page, the information, actually all the programming, and oh, by the way, we do ticket sales as well. So we facilitate all of that. So you get that marketing presence. You get to tap into our community because now you're exposed to the global community, and they get to see that you're hosting on our site. They know where to buy tickets. So yes, it's absolutely. Does that mean don't? Again, remember the multi-pronged approach that I've been belaboring. Doesn't mean don't do it. Cross-promote, yes, but when in doubt, if you need that, first of all, you'll have it guaranteed as part of the package and part of what we provide you. But it's good enough to be by standalone, meaning you don't have to augment it with anything else. But I certainly encourage you to. But yeah, and then sorry, what was the second part of your question?
Well, is there also like say video on demand.
That's it.
portion
Sorry.
of
Thank you.
that,
Yes. So
that if mom's not flying out to Sundance
Yeah.
because
that is one of the greatest value propositions that we are bringing to the market is that streaming component. As festivals move more and more towards having a hybrid or virtual component or being fully virtual, that's what we do. That's our bread and butter. That's why we exist, along with creating the other aspects, the social, the streamers, just feeding fans worldwide. But that's why we exist, because filmmakers will use our platform to not only coordinate and program the entire event, both live or in person, as well as the virtual component, but they then will, it's all seamless. They will then stream on our platform. So they'll sell tickets on our platform, they'll stream on our platform. All of it's there. We're trying to, again, be that, address every aspect of that entire value, what I'm calling the value stream, but yeah.
And would it be individual films,
Mhm.
or if it was this short block?
Both.
You spend $5, you get to see all the shorts in this block.
Excellent question. It is highly customizable and completely up to the film festival. So you can organize it however you want. You can do feature-length shorts. You can put them in blocks if you want blocks. The way they sell tickets is completely up to them, and they can customize it and ascribe a ticket and a ticket price across that. So that's all available to them. It just depends on how you want to set it up. So from the film festival standpoint, or from a film festival creator or organizer, then I know specifically that I can go in there and really do anything I want to. It's a playground. And then for fans, filmmakers, whoever's going to attend, it will be clearly displayed, obviously, what the ticket pricing is and what's involved in that, according to the actual programming schedule that is part of that marketing page that you inquired about earlier. Yeah.
Can I ask about what the timeline of working with EO Flix looks like to the filmmaker, from first reaching out to EO Flix and eventually getting that first paycheck, or finally getting the film on the platform?
The platform, getting it on the platform is swift. So if you want to do it within a week, you can do it within a week. If you want to do it in a few days, say that. You can do that. In terms of revenue share, I don't have the, and you have to forgive me because we just transitioned. We use Stripe, so I hope, I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's all, we use Stripe as the, okay. Some of you are shaking heads. So you'll have to create a Stripe account. And I encourage everyone to create a bio on our webpage, just describing who you are, short and sweet, nothing crazy, and then connecting a Stripe account, which is very, very easy to establish. So we facilitate that process. If you don't know Stripe, or if you are afraid of payment processes, especially online, we facilitate that process. It's very simple, very secure, and we connect to that account. So from a rev share, that's how the money will flow. The funds will flow from there. In terms of monetization, though, I forget what, and you have to forgive me again. I want to say it's a 30-day cycle, but I can't remember. So let me get back to you on that. But yes, it's almost instantaneous in terms of getting that payment channel set up, number one, and getting your film actually showcased on our platform. You can move very quickly.
Going back to talking a bit about festivals, if filmmakers come to you with their short with already an idea of a festival plan, and how separated is the filmmaker from when they approach you with a fresh short, no festival run thus far? Mm-hmm. Do you guys take control completely over the entire process, or how involved is the filmmaker in that?
No, they're very much involved still. Yeah. Yes. We want to get to a white glove treatment, but we're not that accommodating yet. As I mentioned earlier, the platform is really meant to be your chauffeur. Okay, so we will obviously help you in ramping up and learning the features and functionality available from a filmmaker submission standpoint. If you need help there, we will help you do that. But we want you to take advantage of the platform and utilize the platform to facilitate that process. We don't actually have a customer service representative that's dedicated to your particular submission process, but that should not dissuade you. We will help you, and we are always there to help you. And if that means getting on the call and showing you exactly what, how to go through the process, we'll do that. We also have tutorial videos, help articles, stuff like that. So it's all about empowering and self-serve. So I know it's kind of a wishy-washy answer, but the reality is we are there to help you if you need it. but we're also looking to build a product that is so intuitive and easy to use that that's really what your primary avenue should be. And hopefully you won't run into any challenges. But if you do, again, we are there to help you.
Yes.
Are you able to share your current subscription numbers with us, or give us sort of a ballpark of
Yeah.
how big your audience is?
So the subscription numbers, we have, I don't have the audience numbers. I think someone's going to ask that, and I couldn't remember. I don't have those off the top of my head right now. Subscription, we have you asked about subscription tiers, basically. Okay, from whose viewpoint? Film festival or viewer, just user of the EO Flix? Because they're going to.
Users, right, who come to your platform
Okay.
and looking for content.
Okay, good question. So we have a free, just a basic tier that's free, but it is going to limit the content that you can access. Okay, so it is restrictions apply, as you will. And then we have another tier which opens up all the content and gives you access to the social tools. When I say social tools, social networking components in that module, and that's $5, give or take a few cents. I think it's $4.97 specifically, if memory serves. And then we have the professional tier, and that's for people that are showcasing their work and their content. They get everything I just described, but they also get access to the spotlight features, and ultimately, most importantly, they get to post on our site and showcase their work, and that's $9. I mean, again, give or take a few cents.
What's sort of the number of actual members or users on your platform?
I don't have that right now. I don't have that. It's a good question and a fair question. I don't have that right now. Yeah, and we are, admittedly, there's a lot of, we're trying to build that ecosystem, like I said, in that traffic. So there's a huge opportunity here, and there's a lot of work that we're currently working on to address and continue to build that out from a marketing standpoint, because there's, just in talking with some people here today, I mean, there's, they love the concept, they love the vision, they like the platform, but they say, who the hell are you? I didn't even know you existed. So there is a huge opportunity there, and that's on us and our responsibility to make sure that we make our presence known, and more importantly, the value proposition, what we're trying to do for the community known. And we're going to be ramping up those efforts very soon.
We have a couple minutes left. Yes.
Just curious if you had any tools specifically for episodic content, web series, things like that. Is that part of your strategy?
Yes. So when I say yes, we're absolutely into that. And if you have it bundled like that, prepackaged, we accept that. If you need help with that, that's a conversation. So the answer is yes. We're absolutely, and we're, without disclosing too much information, we have some stuff in the works that involve quickly like that. Yeah. And that's another way, and that's just tactically speaking, if I'm short form content creator and a filmmaker of shorts, that's a great way to think about it. Look, maybe I don't like feature length. Maybe I just like short films. But putting them in episodes like that, or vignettes with a common motif, or whatever the case is a phenomenal way not only to build your brand, but also to monetize. And that's kind of what the aggregators do that I alluded to earlier, except they're from distinct filmmakers. Why not make it a whole series yourself? And that's a big thing right now, I'll say too. That seems to be a trend that I've noticed, at least within the community.
Can you speak more about those trends, and then I'll get to you.
Yeah. Virtual streaming, big thing. I know there's been a little bit, I think COVID obviously pulled forward the need and the opportunity really to, especially from film festivals, and this is specifically film festivals, a lot of them are adopting more and more virtual components, which is a no-brainer in my mind. Maybe I live on a different planet, but I'm not going to limit my audience to the theater's capacity, right? I'm going to open it up to the world. And if I can use EO Flix or one of our competitors to open it up to the global audience, sell tickets, and get that enhanced viewing experience so people can stream and tap into that as part of my programming, I'm going to do that. So virtual events are increasingly common, and the adoption, while it's been slow in my mind, is starting to ramp up. And if you're a festival, whether it's a music festival or a film festival, the sooner you do that, the better off you're going to be. I'll tell you that much. In terms of filmmakers, I think, again, it's educating them about, not only from EO Flix, what we're here to do and providing you with that platform to empower and showcase your work. I think there are other opportunities with our competitors to get the word out and really, we want to build this ecosystem. We want to build this ecosystem. We think there's a huge opportunity there. And the more we can do to empower the community, the better off it is. And going to the community, I'd say you need to tap into these
resources. They're not cost prohibitive, and they need to be a part of that multi-pronged strategy I said for building your brand, showcasing your work, and ultimately, if you are trying to monetize, yeah, there's some revenue to be made as well. So it's not just the festival circuit. That's good for the prestige, the eyeballs, potentially the deals. But you also need to get on these platforms like the one on EO Flix to make sure that you're tapping into an already established audience and ultimately cross-promoting across other avenues such as your social media, so on and so forth.
Yes, let's say for instance that you have like a decent following on different creative platforms, TikTok, YouTube, and your feature or your short is on EO Flix. Is there any kind of incentive to bring your followers from those to EO Flix, like through a link or like?
Yeah, I touched on that earlier. I can tell you from a business filmmaker standpoint, you want to cross-pollinate and cross-promote, right? As a viewer, I like optionality. Maybe I prefer TikTok because I'm always on the go. Maybe I prefer Instagram because I like the features better than TikTok. Maybe I want that more professional, prestigious viewing opportunity like the VOD, like the Tubies, the movies, or the EO Flixes, where you have that professional online, and I prefer bigger screen, personally, then you can go there. So optionality is attractive for all parties involved, especially users, viewers, that is, of your content, and I highly encourage everyone to cross-promote across those platforms. Whether it's through simple linking or embedded content, do it. Did I answer your question? Did I answer it?
Yeah.
Kind of, no?
Kind of.
Maybe I misunderstood. Ask me.
Because EO Flix is essentially new, correct?
Well, we've been around for a little bit. I mean, it's compared to some of the other people who actually TikTok. Yeah.
So it's like, do I want to draw an audience from YouTube versus EO Flix, as in some form of revenue stream?
Yeah.
So it's like if I can make more off of EO Flix, I want people to go watch it on EO Flix versus.
Yeah, I would say they're not mutually exclusive unless you have some type of licensing deal or restrictions that apply because your stuff's on YouTube, for instance, comes to mind, not so much TikTok and Instagram and social media. But no, you want to attack each of those and make sure that your presence is in each of those lanes, whatever you're talking about, DIY, video on streams, festivals, attack each of those. And then you can cross, wherever you get money is great. Certainly you can monetize with us a little bit, you can monetize through other avenues. It depends on the situation, but I guess optionality is what I'm talking about, making sure that you have that multi-pronged approach because users like that optionality. And there's nothing preventing you, it's not cost prohibitive, at least not EO Flix, to have multiple presences across different platforms, which I encourage if you're a filmmaker.
Got it. Thank you.
I think one final question, if you're really dying to ask. Any hands, any takers? Is this your room?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to show that around? I just EOFLIX.
Yeah, next time I'll make sure we have something up here. Maybe it's a good.
Didn't want to download the wrong one.
No. Yeah, and that's going to be just so you know. We do have. I'm glad you actually brought that up. Thank you. You're hired. We do have a mobile app, so that you know it is limited in features and functionality because we haven't had a lot of time to dedicate to it. So we're in the process of building that app out. And why I'm saying this, the full experience, I encourage everyone to go on the web app. That's where you will get the full array of features and functionality about everything we talked about today. So start at the web app. The mobile app is limited in what you can achieve there. It's limited mostly to social and streaming, so a different user group. But that doesn't mean don't go out there and take it for a spin. I encourage everyone to download it. Just know that it's a work in progress, and the desktop app has all those features that I was talking about earlier.
Is it available on Apple TV?
Yes.
No.
But it's, again, limited.
Okay.
It's not even, it's so good. Question. We are on a lot of major streaming platforms, especially stick devices, but it's oriented more, the app itself is oriented more for streamers. Okay, so content viewers, consumers. You're not going to be submitting to festivals on the TV app. You're not going to be doing any social networking.
I just want to watch on the big screen.
Yes, we are available.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for pulling up the app, and thank you so much, Ian, for taking the time out.
Sorry I had to deal with just me today. I appreciate your patience and indulgence.